All right, what's going on, everybody? This is Isaac Grace, the Millennial Hope Dealer, and this is our live series right here, 10K in 90 days. Got my special guest with me, my brother here, Mike Alexander.
Yes,
Thank
sir.
you for coming in, King.
Blessed to be here.
You guys are gonna get to hear Mike's story today. Mike is actually one of my partners in my Cash Buyers Academy mentorship, and you guys are gonna hear this entire story on how Mike and I was able to come together. You're gonna hear all his success. Today is not about me; it's all about Mike. So, Mike, let's get started.
All right.
So we're gonna kind of start off before we get into the real estate and all the fun stuff. I want you to explain to our viewers a little bit about your upbringing. You know, kind of how you got to where you are, some of the challenges and maybe the successes you had in your life.
All right. Yeah. Like I said, I'm blessed to be here. Appreciate you, calling me up and to come sit with you today. My name is Mike Alexander. I'm born and raised in New York City, Southside Jamaica, Queens.
Nice. Nice state.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. My parents are immigrants from Trinidad and Tobago.
Nice.
So I'm a first generation American in my family.
First generation baby.
Yes, they used to call me Uncle Sam as a baby.
Nice.
We didn't grow up in the best neighborhoods in New York, of course. Typical, black male in the city. Made some poor decisions. But one day something clicked. And my mom kind of helped with that, if you get what I'm saying, with that clicking. But I started cleaning up my life, got my degree. Well, graduated high school, got my degree, and then I started working with young folks.
Gotcha.
Young folks that reminded me of myself.
Okay.
And I was really good at inspiring young men and women to doing better for themselves and what have you. So I started working in juvenile justice system.
Beautiful. Love it.
A lot of success stories. There's a lot of very rewarding career, but it could be frustrating at times. But I believe God puts us in situations for a reason.
Right. Absolutely.
As far as where I am today, I want to say it was like maybe 2 years ago. My grandmother passed.
Wow.
And I'm sitting in the cemetery and I'm thinking to myself, hey, time ain't waiting on nobody. You know what I mean? And I'm looking around in the cemetery. I'm looking at my mom, my aunts and uncles, and I'm like, now they're the grandmas and grandpas.
Right.
It was like a generational shift.
Gotcha.
Looking at my kids, and I'm like, you know what? I need to spend more time with my kids.
Yeah.
I need to set them up. I need to create a legacy. You know what I mean? I'm not getting any younger. I'm 38 years old. I've done what I'm supposed to do, but I want more.
One more.
And so I decided to, really tap into, hey, what business can I get into? I did my research. What business can I get into? And really real estate, that kind of, I was attracted to real estate, you know what I mean? And at first, I was thinking, all right, maybe buy and hold, being a landlord, but then did more research and, I learned about wholesaling and things of that nature. And I was like, you know what? It seems like if I can start with wholesaling, that will set me up down the line to where I'm able to buy and hold. I don't have to use my my income from, my 9 to 5, if you get what I mean.
Absolutely.
And, talking to people, people, similar journeys and what have you, they told me about Jay Morrison Academy. And in doing so, I ran into you on YouTube and on the internet. And, well, let me back up a little bit. I did start another program, but it was too advanced for me, if you get what I mean.
Gotcha.
It was too... They didn't start from scratch.
Okay.
You get what I mean?
Right.
And so, I was just chasing after deals, but I wasn't too successful.
Gotcha.
So then when I ran into CBA, I was like, all right, we're starting from scratch. You meet me where I'm at, you know what I mean? And followed the blueprint, and here I am now.
Gotcha. Love it, man. Definitely beautiful story. So I'm gonna kind of hit you with some questions, kind of open your mind up so that the viewers can really understand, like, what did you go through at a young age. So talk to me about, like, what did, like, your early elementary, middle school, high school, like, what was life like? What were you learning? Like, what were your dreams at a younger age?
You know what? It's funny. My dreams at a younger age, it sounds crazy, but it's almost like you're just thinking about today.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You know how it is when you grow up in the hood. You're thinking about today. You're not thinking too far ahead. You're looking at the older people around you making moves, but they're not necessarily doing the right things.
Right.
I mean, in hindsight, we could say that they're not doing the right things. But at the same time, coming from an immigrant family, when you come from an immigrant family, it's like they look at you like, don't make it to where I moved to this country for no reason. You see what I'm saying? So I always had that pressure. Yeah, you get what I'm saying? Like, so it's like, even though I was, I wasn't doing the right things, I knew eventually I'm gonna have to clean this up because I gotta go home to them, right? You know what I mean? Right. And make them proud.
Like some of them things, I know you said like you wasn't doing the right thing. If you care to share, like what are some of them things that I'm confident people can relate to?
Yeah, it's just not taking school seriously, skipping school. You're hanging out with the wrong crowd. I wasn't never a gangbanger, but had many gangbanger friends.
Same.
You know what I mean? I never had to sell drugs. People actually, I'll say I was blessed in this way. People looked at me as, even though we were in the hood, they looked at me as I was rich. So I'll give credit to my dad because I had my dad in the home. You get what I'm saying? So even though we weren't in the blessed neighborhood, I still had my mom and my dad. And I saw, a man getting up every day, bust his tail every day, come home. You know what I mean?
Instilling the principles into you.
Correct. So, I mean, I was just not making the right choices, not doing what I was supposed to do as far as my education. Getting in a little bit of trouble in school, things of that nature.
Okay, gotcha, perfect. All right, perfect. So like you said, kind of come up with humbling beginnings, but having that father figure, mother and father in the house kind of showed you structure, kind of kept you disciplined. And a lot of your friends would say like you was the one that would probably have the best, got the best chances of doing something with your life. Makes sense, understand that there.
Absolutely.
It's funny that you say that because growing up, definitely went through like a lot of similar things. Unfortunately, my father wasn't in my household, but my mother was married to my stepfather, so I did grow up seeing my mother and my father raise up five of us on that journey. And it can get tough, definitely coming from humbling beginnings, food stamps, WIC, free lunch at school, and not really being taught or understanding like that bigger picture of like legacy and generational wealth. We just kind of living for that moment. We just take what we get. And a lot of times in some of the more wealthier families and households, they instill these things into their children at a very young age.
Absolutely.
From credit scores to expectations for college and entrepreneurship and things of that nature. So a lot of times we kind of get started with that head start. We find out by 18, maybe even up to like 25, when it's like, okay, we got to actually focus on building wealth for ourselves, because college, the degree, the job, it's not guaranteed that we'll see the life that we want when it's all said and done.
Absolutely.
Love it.
If I can piggyback off of that, it's like I was telling my wife, I was telling my younger brother also, when I look back at it, it started rough, but I did what I was supposed to do. Graduated from high school, which was one of my biggest accomplishments as far as what it took for me to catch up. If you get what I mean, I value that more than even my degree.
Nice.
I got a job. I'm successful in what I do. I'm in management in what I do. However, I'm not content.
Yeah.
I want to say I'm not happy, but I'm not satisfied.
Gotcha.
You get what I'm saying? And it's like you said, we were taught to be employees. You know what I mean? And this process that I'm going through right now is teaching me to be an entrepreneur, for me to, control my day.
Be the decision maker.
And that's something where I want to instill in my children and other children. My vision, to be honest, is, once I get like you.
Oh, you gonna get there. Trust me. I ain't do 3 deals when I was in 8 months, so you gonna get there.
Once I get like you, I want to teach this to younger people.
Yeah.
The same things that, I wished I knew this when I was younger.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So
for sure.
That's my goal.
Each one teach some, man. Jay instilled it into us, man. Each one must teach some. So that's so big. So I got a lot of things going through my head, a lot of questions, So what's your college award? Would you graduate college or degree?
I graduated with a double major. I had health science and sociology.
Nice. What inspired you to what was that journey like in a nutshell? Like that rough. College journey, like.
It was rough. I barely graduated. I'll be honest with you, I barely graduated high school. You know what I'm saying? So I went to a junior college afterwards. Went there for 1 year, did my thing, got my GPA up, and then I went to a university, Stony Brook University in New York. And man, I did not fit in.
Wow.
Here I am walking in, typical New York City kid, cornrows in my head, walking around with my Timberlands. And I'm walking around with all these kids that don't look like me.
Right.
And it was an adjustment, you know what I mean? But like anything else, I'm very persistent.
You got it done.
You know what I mean? And I got it done. And not only that, I thought about the time when my guidance counselor in high school told me I wasn't going to be nothing. Here I am graduating on the dean's list. You see what I'm saying? But it's just that persistence. You know what I mean? I'm stubborn. My wife could tell you I'm a stubborn person, but it's a good and a bad.
Right.
You know what I mean? If I get my mind on something, I'm going to get it done.
Love it. I love it, man. Beautiful. I wish, I was less fortunate. I'm a high school dropout. I did drop out my senior year just because, I didn't have that structured household at that point. My mother had moved to Georgia. My stepfather and my mother had split, and my father was incarcerated. So I was bouncing around relative and then a friend. And like my senior year, nobody was talking to me about like, yo, try this, go to community college for 2 years, then do this. It was just like, yo, just at least graduate. That's the least you could do, graduate. But unfortunately, life hit you, and I made some other decisions. So, just to see you, go through that journey and have so much pressure on you at a young age, your parents risked a lot to be here in the country. It was very important for you to be that example, and make them proud. So that's kudos to you. Salute to you for that. And I know you spoke about your wife. How'd you, meet your wife? Quick story.
Me and my wife, we actually met maybe like a year into me moving to Georgia.
Okay. How long you been here?
Since 2007.
Okay, so about
maybe
15 years, somewhere around. Okay.
Yeah.
So been here 13 years.
We used to actually work together.
Okay.
But we were friends.
Gotcha.
We started off as, we real cool. Of course, there was something between us, but, we never really
seen it that first day. Like, I need that.
yeah. You know what I mean? And then, I actually, once I moved on to another job, that's when we, really started kicking it. If you know what I mean.
Right. Couldn't risk that job.
Nah.
Couldn't risk that job right away. Had to make sure it was worth it.
And I told her, once we got serious, I was like, you're going to be my wife one day. Sometimes you just know.
Yeah. Love it, man. Big, bold statements, man. But that's big, though, because that's something that's not so always taught in our upbringings. It's not like, yo, go out there, find your wife, go find your queen, find somebody that makes you happy. Our culture sometimes teaches us to go against that. You're not cool if you dedicated to one person. But what I've learned on my journey is that like having a strong woman around you will really, really take you to that next level, keep you focused, keep you tunnel vision, and help you just look at the bigger picture. So
like I said, that's my rib.
That's it. That's literally, man. So, all right. So this is part 1 right here, family, of our 10K in 90 days series with my brother Mike Alexander. Stay tuned with us for part 2. Check you guys soon.